Hello, and in this video I'm going to talk you through a simple yet powerful model for analysing human communication, for thinking about what happens when two people get together for a conversation. So what I've got here, represented very simply in these two circles, is person A, person B. And I'm going to ask you to imagine that they enter some kind of conversation. This could be just a general friendly conversation, or it could be some kind of professional interview. So one of them might be a worker, the other one might be a client or a service user, something like that. So the first thing I'm going to suggest in this model, is that human communication is intentional. And that is that when we get together to communicate, we are attempting to achieve certain things. So certain general things we're trying to achieve. So I think we're often trying to achieve a reasonable presentation of ourselves, so we come across as decent, reasonable human beings. But also we're trying perhaps sometimes to get somebody to do something that we want, or we're trying to get information from somebody, or we're simply trying to understand somebody else's point of view and someone else's experience of the world. And we may well be doing all these different things at the same time. So it's not a case of there just being one intention. There are multiple intentions. Now, having an intention is all very well, having a goal, having a desire, but somehow you've actually got to put that into words or into action. And in this model, what that's called is coding. So coding is the words that we use to describe or to achieve our intention. And not just the words either. Also, it's things like tone of voice, pitch, speed, volume, it's body language, it's eye contact, it's the way we sit, the way we lean, the way we stand. It's all the things we do in order to carry out our intention. But not only do we code it, we've also got to produce the communicative act. So we've actually got to say something or do something that will actually carry out our intention. And often what you'll find, and I'm sure we've all had this experience, where we've coded something in our own minds, we know exactly what we want to say, we're very clear on how we're going to want it to come across, but the reality is what actually comes out of our mouths is something completely different. Or the way we say it completely ruins that intention we had when we coded it. So we put it out there, we produce the speech, we say what it is that we want to say, and then the other person receives that. So they actually hear what we're saying, and they hear the way we say it, they look at the way our body is when we're saying it. And then what they have to do is they have to decode it. So basically they have to work out what it is we're trying to do when we're doing and saying what we're doing and saying. And that will lead to them having an intention to respond. So they're going to respond to not just to what we say and what we do, but to how they decode, how they make sense of, how they construe or interpret what we say and what we do. And that will lead to them coding their response and producing a response to what we've said, what we've done. And then we will receive that, we will decode it, and the cycle will go on. And the name I give to this is the simultaneous cyclical model. And this is really because, although I've presented it in that very kind of almost linear way, but each stage following every other stage in a nice logical order, the reality is it works more like this. So you can see from this, those stages are going on all the time. There's not really a clear dividing line where we're coding and where we're producing and where we're receiving and where we're decoding. All of that is happening all the time. So have a think about how you can use that model to analyze what happens when we communicate.